Yes.
Did it look real?
I used to know the entire dance
Remember when we used to like wait? We're like, oh my god, I gotta go home at 9:59. Thriller.
because they only people don't appreciate that. There was no YouTube or any of that
No,
stuff. We like MTV let you know when they were going to be playing it, and you had to get home to make
or
sure you were
else
there.
you would
You
miss
were
it.
you would miss it. It was not like people now are like, oh, Alexa, play show. Oh, sorry, Alexa, don't do anything. Alexa off.
I like your look today.
Disco Johnny.
Eh.
Disco Johnny.
I love, AKA just a Thursday.
I this is this morning in the Baldino home. I get all dressed with the exception of the glasses, right? I've got to go, and Kathy goes, "Oh, that's a nice shirt." So I put the glasses on. She's like, "Oh, right, okay, Halloween, yes." I'm like, would I? I mean, I would wear a silver shiny shirt like normally. Is that
Sure.
what
I don't know. You could have been
she
now. To
unfazed,
be fair,
unfazed by anything I wear?
you kind of get trendy. You kind of
I do. I do the things. I do the things.
and
But
you go
now I
all
have to
in.
do this thing. This thing that I have to do is be able to see everyone. So, oh, hi. Oh,
Right.
my goodness. Hello.
It's
Nice to see you. Nice
me.
to see you in Phoenix, correct?
I am in Phoenix. Yes, I'm at the Biltmore. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
24-hour adult pool. What? I'm
Naked?
here for it. But
Is
it's
everybody
cold. Like,
is everybody naked in that pool, or how's it work?
I don't know. I was in bed by like 8 o'clock. I don't even. I try so hard. The thing, this is how much travel I've done. I go in the lobby and I
Tell
go,
me.
oh, that's white tea. That's Weston soap white tea smell. That's how much travel.
But I do want to say that's a good smell. That Weston
I
white
love
tea.
that white tea.
That
It's
is a
that, yeah,
great
the soap.
smell.
Everybody else uses the like lemongrass. Every hotel smells like lemongrass because
Yes.
nobody buys it. So they gave them a discount. Every hotel in America
I know
smells like
it's
that.
so funny. You and I both. I mean, we are racking up the miles.
Yes.
Racking up the miles.
And I'm only going to be home for a little while before I go across the pond. I hope I get to see some of my friends in the UK at
Yeah.
Disrupt. I'm speaking on algorithm aversion to appreciation.
What? Say more about that. What is it?
Algorithm aversion to appreciation.
And this is disrupt. So you got 5 minutes to
5
go.
minutes,
That's
20
it.
slides.
I love that you're doing this. You're doing this in London. Yes.
Yes, which
So, I mean,
what do I
amazing.
who do
Who are you? Who are you? That you're flying over there to speak for 5 minutes.
shh,
But I just want to make sure, like,
10. I'm doing 2
that's
events.
like Oprah level.
10. 10 minutes.
Oh, excuse
Oh,
me, 10. Oh, I don't think I'll do that.
what is
What is
that?
this? Is that what made the
We are
balloons just come
so
up?
like
I don't have that. Mine is broken. Jamie, um,
look, it doesn't look like a heart.
see, you have all the it's because of your computer. Oh, Mac
Mac.
only. Fine, Jamie. He's messaging behind the scenes.
Look,
Mac only. You're a loser, Baldino. Get a real
get a
computer. I
real
knew that was
computer.
coming. I knew that was coming.
I just ordered the iPhone 16.
Frankie said it's not worth it.
Well, I have a 12.
Well, that's right. It is worth
Yeah,
it for you.
remember? Because I was going to buy a new camera and I got this instead. So it'll be worth it. I'm very excited about it. It's at home in Texas waiting for me.
We should do like a butt first coffee disrupt and have a bunch of people. Eric, good morning, everyone. By the way, we are so
Oh yeah, I
rude.
forgot.
Good
We're like literally
morning, everyone.
make it
Good
happen.
morning.
Make it happen, Jamie.
I do want to make sure, Jamie, you can pop this up. I just got my butt first coffee mug. We do have a disgruntled customer, Jamie, in Jackye. She is still waiting 5 weeks for hers. So I don't know where it was shipped to, but can we follow up on that, please? That is outrageous, terrible. Unacceptable. But y'all
Unacceptable.
go to the humoriso.com to the swag shop, and you can find and get your own But First Coffee various mugs. Join us, please, in the cult. We're looking forward to it.
Now, I do want to jump in, but I do want everybody to know I am here in Phoenix for LinkedIn Talent Connect. This is my second Talent Connect. It's was really great. The theme was possibility lives here, works here. It doesn't live here. Works here.
The theme was very moving. Possibility slumbers here.
What? They always launch something. They launched their AI recruiting assistant.
Oh, what's its name? Because everybody has a name for their AI.
The name's is recruiting assistant.
Clippy.
Raw.
Because Microsoft owns it, right? So can't they bring back Clippy? Poor Clippy.
Poor Clippy.
We loved Clippy, right? Y'all remember Clippy? If you remember Clippy, come on, right?
Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Clippy.
Little paperclip love would try to help you.
Pop You'd be like, oh my God, how do I format this? And the little paperclip.
No, like, I would usually be like, stop it. Close. This is perfect, Jamie. Thank you. I am just back last night from Pittsburgh. I got to spend the first half of the week in Pittsburgh, and that was fun. Went to Monday Night Football. My first Monday Night Football ever. I mean, I've been to plenty of football games, but never Monday Night Football. And so tried to find Jason Kelce. Could not find him though. I struggled to find him because he's an announcer for Monday Night Football. Let's just have a minute on the Kelce brothers. What in the world? They're everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. They're advertising for everything. It is.
You gotta work it.
They are working it.
Freaking, they gotta chase that bag.
Mike Steffi. That was the entire. I was with Mike. That's another Pittsburgh Steelers first down. Like they were playing the Giants, who are terrible, and so they had tons of first downs. We had to hear this incessantly, and it was. I have to say, it was a lot of fun, a lot of energy at Heinz Field, which is no longer Heinz Field. It's I don't even know. Apoplexy. What's the name of that stadium now?
It's not Apoplexy.
It's some crazy name. I don't know what it is.
Well, guess what? Who I got to see?
Who?
Sheryl Crow.
Oh.
A full show.
I love Sheryl Crow. I do. Darn it.
A full concert, mini concert. And it was so funny because I'm just saying some people are really into it. And I was like,
are you a fan? Kinda.
I mean, every day's a winding road. You get a little bit closer.
I like the what the heck's the one that early in the morning. I sit at the bar and
I wanna do is have some.
Yeah.
I mean, I can appreciate it. I'm a fan, but I was like, it wasn't like, a Drake concert. And it was just really funny watching this girl. She's like, she was really like,
oh no, it's not really
dance hours.
Music. It's not dance music in that way. It's like trying. It's more like Grateful Dead. Did you ever see Andy Cohen at a Grateful Dead show? Oh my gosh, you got to look that up. People randomly video him at a Grateful Dead show. He's all tie-dyed out and high as a kite, and he's just dancing to everything that Grateful Dead's doing. It's the same kind of.
There was a lot of lip biting.
White man's overbite. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Sorry, but
I
it
didn't
is.
Say it. Your
I
words.
said it. Your
words, not mine.
You're not denying it, but
it was so
we are the worst.
But we took these big buses. I swear, I thought my bus stopped in the middle of the highway. We were going.
Oh wait, where was the show? Where did she perform?
It was at the Sportsman Center.
So was it a concert anybody could go, but they had a LinkedIn section? Is that how they did it?
It was it was a private concert, and it was
okay.
Um, it was like a side thing. So it was at the stadium, but like on the side.
Oh,
So it was really nice. Like it was a full stage, but it was like on the club side.
nice.
Imagine that.
No, I mean, and Phoenix is nice. I mean, is it beautiful there right now, or is it
Yeah, yeah.
still
They
super
have
hot?
it's next. So it's called Sportsman's Park. It's next to the State Farm Stadium.
State Farm. Here we go. Back to the theme. Kelsey brothers just can't stand it. So it's Halloween. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Happy Diwali.
I will. That's true as well. Thank you. I do so at Humoriso we do a Sugar Wish. If you're familiar with
I
Sugar
love
Wish,
Sugar Wish.
and so everybody gets like a 2-choice Sugar Wish for Halloween, and they pick all their stuff. It is so funny to have. First of all, the staff at Humoriso is like hilariously fun and absolutely brilliant and just awesome to work with. But the things that they pick, and then like they just share with one another. Here's what I got. Our favorite. I'll start with this scary story. They do have dog treats as one of the options you can get. They have coffees, they have teas, they have dog treats. So you can get, if you're like, hey, I don't want to do the sugar, but I'll get something from my pooch. And so one of my staff got one of the two things was dog treats, and he has a couple of kids, and so one of the kids didn't realize that it was a dog treat, and so just had a dog treat as a treat and lived to tell the tale.
Wow.
So have you ever accidentally eaten a dog treat as like a
No.
Listen, let me tell you something. This food that these dogs get today, the like fresh pet and that kind of stuff that looks like like gourmet food in this.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see someone getting this like mixed up.
Yeah.
That farmer's dog, Jamie saying that's another one. Like you look at some of this and you're like, I'm sorry, this is for the dog. I don't eat this
Right.
well.
Exactly. And they're showing the commercial. I'm like, how come I can't get brown rice and peas and chicken? I'm eating
John,
lasagna.
John, get up. Make me brown rice and peas and chicken. Get up.
John, you go make me some food. Where's my breakfast?
What was that? That's awesome. Wait, your brother's here. Oh, Greg is here. I thought I saw him. Good morning, Greg and Eric, Marianne, Dion, Sean. Oh my gosh. Mike,
I did run. You'll be appreciative. You will appreciate that I ran this place over here. Very fancy. These houses, very fancy. And then we did a run, but I also took a Waymo.
Wait, what?
The autonomous driving car, like an Uber.
That? Scary?
It was amazing. I'm going to take one to the airport. It was still a little bit scary. Like, well, here's the thing. So we're like, this is so great. We go across the street. The Waymo picks us up. It does all the things. We're like looking at it. When it picks you up, it says your name on the top. So you know that this is your car. And it takes you, it slows down for speed bumps. Everything's great. We go into the like compound of the Biltmore because there's a couple of things in here. And then it stops by this dumpster in this wall. And we're like, what do we do? So you press the button. You press the button to talk to customer service. And we're like, I don't think this is where we're supposed to be. And the customer service goes, well, the car decided like this is the safest place for you. And we were like,
at the dumpster?
Bitch, this place ain't safe. We're like, this is not safe. This is not safe.
I am insulted.
She goes, well, I don't know. Maybe you can walk to the.
Maybe you could walk.
So we.
That's what you should have said.
So we changed the address and it took us to the place where we were all like. And I saw a guy I haven't recruited with for 13 years.
See, that's why I love the people. I know that we travel a lot and we do some of these conferences and stuff. Yes, George, good morning. Waymo to the airport makes me nervous. I would feel similarly.
I went right at I'm going to be going after. It was so much fun.
Are
I'm
you
going to do it
flying
again.
out today? Are you flying
I'm
out this afternoon?
leaving today, and then I'll be home for the weekend. I leave on Sunday to go to the UK. I'm going to leave after I finish these slides because
I will be. So if you're in London, please go see Jackye next week. Please, please, please go see. And if there's a link, Jackye, to the
oh
agenda
yes,
or
well
whatever, pop it
there's a
in here.
few. We'll
Pop it
put
in
those
here
in
so
there.
people know. And then I will be. I fly out on Saturday for Denver. If you will be going to the Inclusion Conference, I will be speaking on inclusion and equity on Sunday and Monday. I'm sorry, I said and equity on Sunday and Monday.
You
So,
don't know
um,
anything about that. Who hired you for that?
first of all, shut your mouth. Second of all,
First of all, I'm a delight.
first of all,
To
shut
be
your
clear,
mouth.
shut your mouth.
So I'll be in Denver, and then the end of the week I'll be in Dallas for TalentNet. So come see me there as well if you're going to
Don't
be
be
around in
mad
the
at
area.
me for that.
I actually am not. I'm on a sweet panel. So
Oh, so now you don't need me at all. Okay.
no, I don't need you. I don't need you. It is. We are the busiest people in show business. It's hard. It's hard to be loved.
It is.
So we'll go with that. So,
Yes.
so I want to kick it to you for a second because I don't know if anything popped into your brain when we were talking about this during the week about like scary recruiting or screening or some interviewing, some level of the recruitment process. Did anything kind of come back to you from years
Oh,
gone by of scary stories?
yes. So the scariest of all stories, I will say. When I first was in the business, I was told that they had someone who they hired and they were going through it was PHP development. So this is taking us back a little bit. But back in the day, when you saw all of the people who did PHP, it was like mainly porn. This is back when the development and it wasn't as common and you saw it a lot. So
The
the
good
people
old
knew
days.
that.
Yep. Keep
They
going.
hired this guy and took him to the office. He got the job and I put the I, and so what
Jamie
he
will take
did
care of it. Yep. Go
when
ahead.
he got there, the police was there. This guy went to start his first day. The police came, and they put locks on all of the computers because the guy that they hired had to have locks to trace for search of child porn.
Oh no.
On his first
Oh
day, they
gosh.
had the police came, his probation officer came, and
Oh
they
my
put
gosh.
locks on there because they had to track to see if there was any he had a that was his limitation.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Like how in the world? Nightmare.
That is tough. That is scary. And I mean, listen, it's we really sometimes we don't think this stuff is out there, but there's a lot of it out there. I just was talking to somebody about um OnlyFans legitimately because somebody was asking like is that really a, a revenue stream that genuinely people can live off of? There's tons of money to be made on sites like that. So I mean, like it doesn't surprise me that in the world that we live in that when you're hiring for particular roles they might have experience but like could be in questionable medium.
Yeah. Well, I just think that I
Scary.
don't we're human.
I I've had have you I mean I've had lots of cops at the
I've
workplace
had
like
lots of cops. We had one
um,
that was really bad. Our boss was getting remarried and he had gotten divorced. He was getting remarried, and the week before his ex-wife had him arrested at the office.
for what?
I don't remember, but it was all fake. Like he was back the next day, and we checked it, and they like dropped all the stuff. But like,
Oh my gosh. I mean, lots of cops. I mean, and I've had lots of um like tons of deadbeat dad kind of stuff, right? So
Yes.
officers showing up for that kind of stuff, like,
Or when you
you
have
know,
to like
what
garnish wages.
well, and so we had someone who gave us a falsified social security number. It was a real number, but it wasn't his real number, and it wasn't for um like proof of citizenship that they could work here, right? Eligibility to work. It was because he wanted to avoid paying his ex-wife child support. Because, you know, and again, I should say, for everybody's sake, if you are not familiar, the databases are pretty robust now. So once you put in your social security number into any of the payroll platform systems and they report it to the state as a new hire report, boom, like everything just clicks. If you're back for a judgment, for child support, for whatever it might be, it's all going to connect. And so he gave a bogus one, and somehow I guess his ex-wife found out, or a friend of his told her, something like that he was working a new gig, and they showed up and they asked for the personnel file. They're like, we have they had a search warrant specific to the personnel file so they could see what social security number that he used. And Jamie spelled his email address wrong, just so that you know. That's not correct. Jamie's behind the scenes doing a bunch of stuff, everyone, and it's all wrong. I know. Yes, you're fired, Jamie. But anyway, like, they went through and they were like, this is not his social security number. And back then we had copies of the driver's license and social security card, and they're like, looks like a really good social security card. You're not in trouble. It's very reasonable looking. I was like, I'm okay. And they're like, is he here? I'm like, sure is. Can I go get him instead of you just going onto the floor? Do you mind if I just go get him and bring him back here instead of you go march across the manufacturing floor? Do you mind? Nope, that's fine, John. Go ahead. And I went and got him, brought him back. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, lots of it. I had actually, I want to make sure Dion asked a question. So before I say any story, Dion had asked for both of us, do we check on the diversity of speakers before we accept an engagement to speak?
I don't. I haven't checked on it. There's some, but I've been so anti, right? Like, I have been like, I'm not going anywhere. So
No.
But I
It's
think
me. I'm forcing her to go to places.
I assume that they're all not. And that just because that's been the history of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotten to the point where I've been real specific about the conferences that I go to that I know already have them. I've been reaching out more because I go through phases. I'll be like, I want to go to all the places, and then I'll be like, I'm not going anywhere. So I usually end up picking the places.
Well, and that's true, and it also depends, Dion. I would say sometimes we are asked to speak and like participate in a call for speakers kind of deal, and
yes.
So we don't always know in advance who the other ones that'll be selected. So I'll give you a great for example. I don't think this will get me in trouble. So when I'm speaking next week, I didn't care about the diversity of speakers at that particular conference because I knew I needed to be there to represent a level of diversity that I was concerned may not be spoken about. So I'm really on more of a mission-oriented acceptance in that particular speaking engagement in Denver than I was worried about who else was speaking, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I think maybe I'm also like, I used to a lot, but now it's like, again, I think when people invite me,
when you're top dog, you don't need to worry.
Rough, baby, rough. Stop. I also have like the lowest self-esteem in show business. Literally, it's amazing how imposter syndrome works. We get
off, my gosh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if we did okay. Me and Tacita, so our CTO, Tacita, we did it together. And I was like, do you think it was okay? I'm not really sure. I feel so nervous. We were the last session on the last day. So we were like, no one's going to come and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, oh, it's so, I hope people she was like, there was literally a line of people that came to talk to us. I think we did okay.
Yeah. Packed session.
Everyone
But it
stayed
helps.
to the end.
It helps when you have, pre-happy hour happening as well in the session. They have to walk all the way to the front to pick up their champagne or Moscow Mule, whatever it was that you had for people. Moscow Mule. I just like saying
I've
that.
got to say, the signature drink is something that I've seen a lot at these conferences lately, where there's like the signature like trash can punch. I don't think that's safe.
I don't think that's safe at all. It's so funny that you said that. So I got in. When I like I said, I got back last night from Pittsburgh, and a bunch of mail was on my desk when I got here, and so one of them was this like puffy purple envelope, and I was like, oh gosh. So I opened this thing up. I didn't recognize the return address or anything, but the return address isn't far away from Vero. And so I opened it, and it was a letter, and it had this little puffy thing inside of it. And I opened the letter, and it's from an IT company that's like, it says like they're trying to get your business to do like local IT support, that sort of thing. And the headline says, is your current IT help giving you a headache? Take 2 of these and call me. And so what was attached was like a little packet of 2 aspirin.
Cute.
Right. Very cute. Okay. This is me. I'm like, oh, that's creative. I'm not calling you, but that's cool. Like, right.
You remember?
My son says, what was it, Matt? And so I told Frankie, that the whole thing I just said, and he goes, that's really creative. Then he goes, are you allowed to mail drugs like that? I was like, that's a great question. That didn't even occur to me. So that could be scary, right? That he just sent drugs. Because there are people allergic to aspirin, right? Like that could be a
I will
problem
tell
for some
you.
people.
I used to work in this. I mean, sometimes I hate telling these stories because it makes us sound older and older. The more we tell this.
We are.
So, are you? I literally so literally passed out. I used to work in cash applications. What is cash applications? It's literally where you apply the cash that you receive. And we used to get checks. What's a check? It goes to your bank account to give you so you could spend your money. And my job was taking the paper clip off the check in the application, writing in the box for office only, received, my initials, and the amount of the check that we received. And then splitting the check from, that was my whole job. That was my first super corporate job. But one day we got so much mail, they asked us to help open the mail. And I was like, oh, this smells funny. And I was like, and everybody in the mail room was like, don't smell the mail.
Don't smell the mail. Yes.
And I was like, this is a dangerous thing. They were like, do not smell the mail.
Never smell the
mail.
mail.
Have no idea what's in there.
Isn't that funny? I don't know how I knew that. As soon as you said, I was like, don't smell the mail. Like, I don't know where, whatever just triggered. I was taught that
white tea
alone.
It was not. Can we talk about
no lemongrass in that envelope? Nope.
I do want to talk about something that I found really interesting this week that we learned at Talent Connect, because we're at the Hilton at this Biltmore. We had it in order for them to put the for this event, like you're thinking about all these different things that were going on, 900 people.
Is that
900? There was 1,800 people at the conference, 900 people at the organization to help put the whole thing on.
Oh my gosh.
Planning and these different groups and all of these different. Thank you, Dr. V.
That's a t-shirt.
It's too bad we didn't have
Jamie, get Jackie's face on a shirt saying don't smell the mail.
Don't smell them. Yeah, we need that on a shirt. Don't smell the mail.
That's a lot of people to put that conference on.
Of all of the people, like that's the total people that work at the resort. Like there's a There's a lot of different things going on. They built, well, I won't get it. Well, maybe I should. They built a whole putt-putt thing that was really cute that they had for people that you
Oh,
could go in. This is one of those like user conferences very similar to like Dreamforce or at Workday, like all of those type, and you're just like encapsulated in a little LinkedIn world where you're just like
it's like piped in smells and
ama-
sounds. Oh
hyped.
yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
it was.
And where's Baldino? He's at Pittsburgh.
He's in Pittsburgh, hit the
Pittsburgh
first down.
at Apoplexy Stadium. That's where
Somebody, when Cheryl Crow came on, they're like, "Oh wow, she looks so good for 62." I was like,
she's 62. I
"And how
believe
about
that.
she just looks good?"
Yeah, but my gosh, we are ancient.
That's what I'm saying.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Every day's a winding road. We get a little bit
Questions,
closer.
George? Yes, the aspirin were still sealed and packaged. Yes, they were. And they had a trash can drink at the fancy Biltmore Hotel.
With time in it.
You can take the people out of the slums, but you can't take the slums out of the people, George. Come on.
But we had like the metal detectors, and people kept going, "What are you trying to protect us from?" And they were like, "From you."
From you. Yeah. I had, you just reminded me. So I had I haven't told the story in a long time. I don't even know if I remember all of it. I had an interview with truly, because there were so many things that happened in this particular interview. My HR assistant, it was an interview for a business development role, and in banking. It must have been, it was loan origination, so mortgage loan officer. I'm in my office, and she calls and she's like, "Your interview is here." And I was like, "Oh, awesome." And just the way she said it, I already knew, like, okay, this is going to be special. And so I came out, and this gentleman was, all in a suit and everything, just, sitting up front. And I walked past her, and she just gives me this like coy little smile, and I'm like, okay. And so, I mean, he's not doing anything. And so I said, whatever his name was, Mike, I'm John, great to meet you. And he stands up and he shakes my hand. He goes, "Nice to meet you too. Let me just tell you." And he's looking around. "This is a nice effing place." And I just drops the F-bomb, and I'm like, "It is. Welcome." And now, out of the corner of my eye, I see her at her desk, and she's like under the desk, like looking for something, but I know she's wetting her pants. Like, I already know this is going down.
Right.
Happening. And so, and I remember the COO of the company was like, when I was telling him this story, he was like, "And why did you even take him back with you? Why didn't you just say, I don't think this is going to work out?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I wanted it to be all in. Like, I needed to see how this was going to go." And so this is his first in-person interview. And so we go back to my office. He's passing we were walking through the building. So he's seen some other stuff as well. He's like, "Oh, beautiful, beautiful. This is beautiful. Love this." Right. And so we go into my office, and I just start asking him, some stuff based on the resume, "Tell me about the last job. What makes you want to work here?" General stuff, just to try to give him a chance to sort of tell his story. And he was like, "The people I worked for before, were a-holes. They just, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, I've worked for those people before too. Totally. I get it. Yeah." Mm-hmm. So we're going through the job duties, and he goes, "Let me stop you." He said, "I'll talk to anybody. I'm great. I talk to anybody. No problem. No problem." He said, but I don't want to, I don't want to deal with any Puerto Ricans. Now I'm offended.
Right.
Just in general,
Right.
but intrigued at the same time that, like, this is an interview. Like, what led you to believe telling me I don't want to talk to Puerto Ricans is okay? And he's like, Asians, give me all the Asians. I'm happy to talk, right? He said, but Puerto Ricans, no, I don't do well with them. And I was like, well, it's going to be really hard to discriminate as to who would be coming in for you to talk to and such. So I don't know if we can guarantee that request. But I appreciate you letting me know. And he just, this kind of stuff is what he was, and I know he was saying other stuff, I just can't remember. And it was like, it was an amazing interview. It was awful. Obviously, I didn't hire him. He didn't go any further in the process. But all I kept thinking of is, how did someone tell you this is the right way to interview? Like, where is this coming from? That this is your best foot forward, so to speak, right? In trying to land a job that you need. He was not working at the time, so he needed a job, and that this is the reason. When I did call him to let him know we were not moving forward, he genuinely asked me on the phone. He's like, "Oh man, I was really hoping for this one. Can you tell me why? I wasn't able to move forward." I said, it's just not going to work out, because I thought, I'm not falling into this trap of being like, you are straight up racist and discriminatory and like all of the things. I was just like, it's just not going to work out. That what you presented and what we need are just not on the same page.
Dang.
Scary. Like, how could you tell someone, I don't want to talk to an entire group of people?
Right.
This type of people. No.
I did have similarly a guy who was just, it was a hiring manager. This is when I was in agency recruiting. He was just a jerk. And I was just to put, so people know, I was a technology recruiter. So all the jobs that I was working with was in tech. And this guy was such a jerk, and all of the jobs were hard, but we found a guy. I knew this one guy. I had sent other candidates. He had rejected them all. And this one, another candidate who I thought was just an asshole. Like, he was just horrible. And I sent him, and I was like, I don't know. I'm going to just, because they're both jerks, right? So, and he was like, I love this guy. I have a problem. He said he doesn't like, he was Jewish. He doesn't like Muslim people.
Oh.
And I said, I am so sorry. Like, I'm apologizing on his behalf. Like, tell me what's going on. And then I was like, I can't accept a fee. I'm not going to place it. And I don't want to be associated with the candidate. But he hired him anyway. And then later he was like, I need to send candidates. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not sending any candidates over there. And he was like, I really want to work with you. And then later he was like, I got to let him go. I got to fire him, and I got to replace him. I was like, okay. But it was just like,
I might help you then.
I couldn't believe.
How do you think
that
that's
he would
okay?
say that? And
right?
It was weird. There was no direct correlation. There was not like a one that didn't make any sense. It's like,
I just don't know why you're like, this seems like a good idea for me to tell you how racist or discriminatory that I plan on being.
Right.
The problem is that in that instance, it worked out. He shared it and was hired. It didn't matter. And so he thinks, well, what I did was a good thing. I let them know what I think. Oh my gosh. Can you share this one from Sean? I was just going to say, if you all have some nightmarish, scary interviewing stories, please feel free to pop those into the chat. Even after the broadcast, please pop those in there. Sean, my dad was a recruiter for years. My favorite story was a person that interviewed over breakfast. I don't know why the R is and 4 are the same, Sean.
New keyboard.
You need a new keyboard. Candidate mowed through their meal and then started eating off the hiring manager's plate without asking. Lord help us.
Lord, hey, you gonna eat that? You gonna eat that? You gonna eat those fries?
But I love that Sean put without asking.
You didn't even ask for it.
During an interview, I still don't think I'd be like, hey, boo-boo, you gonna eat that? No, like, I just let it go. Eat your plate.
Right. that reminds me, I like this is why every time we do this show, it makes me feel so old because we tell these stories and then we have to say the caveat because technology and the times are so different.
Yes. Yes.
So this was, I'm a Bank of America customer. Um, I'm just a lazy banker. It's the same bank account from when I was like 16 years old.
Oh, I
So
still have mine. Yep.
yeah, so there was a time where they would do fraud detection, right? They had their own algorithm, and I would go get gas on the way to work in my neighborhood. I lived in Dania Beach and I worked in Blue Lagoon in Miami. And so I go to lunch and my card was declined, and I'm taking clients to lunch. My card's declined. And this is before cell phones, like where you would have a regular cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like calling the 800 number from somebody else's like flip phone beater, totally humiliated. They're like, because they have to go back to work, we'll pay for lunch. Humiliated. And I asked them, why did they do that? They're like, oh, because you got gas at this gas station. And I was like, dear Bank of America, this is literally the gas station in my neighborhood. Like, I
Right.
know that people, like, maybe there's lots of criminals. It is like a tenth of a mile from my house. So it's and it
That's
wasn't a
right.
particularly bad neighborhood. If you know, part of the deals with Florida is which are the access. It's always the ones where you have access for people who are committing crimes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it was on the major strip and it was all huge and you could just in and out really quick. And it happened for weeks and months. I would go have to get gas. My card would be declined. And I wouldn't think about it because why would that happen? And then I'd go for lunch and then I would have to sit there and have to do the whole thing over. That was a
Oh
whole
my
story.
gosh, that is horrible though, because it's so embarrassing, and you're like, oh my gosh.
I love Jamie so much.
Don't smell the mail. I mean, that is hilarious.
This is my favorite part of this whole show.
But here's the problem. We say this is my favorite part a million times. Like every part is our favorite part. Listen, I want to make sure I say this too as we keep telling these scary stories. You and I, with all of our travels, I cannot tell you continually how many people that I'm running into. I'm sure you're the same. We really appreciate all of the fans, like our millions of fans.
Oh, yes.
We do love it. Like so many of you have been coming up, like, I watch you every week, or
Right.
or I watch you after the fact. I can't watch them because I have a meeting at work, but I make sure I have it on later at lunch and just catch the recap. Like, we really, really appreciate
And
that.
it makes me feel so good, really, to see people in the audience. As you know, how me and John we overshare and we're super personal. And then we're standing on the stage like, oh, I just feel totally exposed. And somebody will come up and be like, I watch your work. Like, I know, like,
Yes.
that's why I came, because I would say, even though we have millions of fans, there's
Really.
a small population who has no idea who we are, why we are, or what's going on.
I don't believe that, but keep going.
I've heard.
Lies.
Allegedly.
Lies.
Supposedly. But we love it. So when you do
We
see us,
love
if
it.
you see us, please come up and talk to us. We love sharing, and we're going to be doing a lot more partnering next year. So
we will. So I feel like I want to make sure I tell an HR story from a scary standpoint.
I think you should just tell your college heyday stories. I think that counts.
No, I did lots of things in college I should not have done. Should not have done.
Not
like exclamation point, should not have done.
That's why it was so hard with the freaking Sheryl Crow. I'm listening to it. I was like, I was 21 years old.
Right. Naked on the streets of Dallas. Right? Like, yes.
Sniffing glue.
Permanent markers, baby. The
in the streets of Arizona.
6th grade in the coat closet, me and Greg. Greg, if you're listening, I'm sorry, buddy. And we had marker on our noses. They opened the door and we're like, what are you two doing? And we're like, nothing.
never gonna get the water drink. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm sorry. This is why I'm going to tell you the truth. This is why God has been so
Why,
good to me in this
did I say
career. In this
overshare?
career, this is like the best career for me in the world. So I worked early on in retail and had so fun lead trainer.
Oh,
She was super fun.
what Liz?
I know. Yes, me and Greg, Mom. Good morning. And Miss Jones, I'll never forget it. We came back from recess, and somebody had said we should try to do this, and Greg and I were like, "Sure, let's try."
Mrs. Baldino, you're lovely. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so proud to be your
so
family.
funny. So I was in retail, and the lead trainer, again, she was awesome, so fun. We would hang out a bunch. She started to, and I knew, but it wasn't public knowledge. She started dating the department manager for housewares, and yeah, I told her I was good. I was good. Miss Jones didn't give me any trouble. She was like, "Boys, let's go." And they kept it on the DL. I knew they were like, we just want to make sure somebody knows, me and one other person. And they, I don't know, worked late one night and just were feeling mighty frisky. And in the stock room where luggage was, they just started hooking up. And these are manager level folks hooking up in the stock room, the back stock room. And again, if any of you ever worked in department stores, like when you're in the department store, obviously everything is on the floor. The storerooms are behind the departments, right?
Yes.
There's doors all over the place. So it's not like it's not in the center of everything. It's not like everybody would walk through there. But the COO was there and went back there for some reason. I still don't know. It might have been inventory prep. I don't really know why, but even the COO, I don't know why the person went there and caught them. And thankfully they were mostly clothed, and I know. And this one guy, the housewares department manager, I mean this, like, it was so difficult because he had a speech impediment, and in anxiety situations, it was really difficult for him to communicate. And I mean, my man could not talk to me because he was struggling so hard with the spoken word because of his anxiety and his speech impediment. And I was like, you're just going to have to breathe. Don't say anything for the next 15 minutes. Like, seriously, because he needed to get himself together. He was so nervous. And my only response was like, it's so dirty back there. Like, it's not like, why on earth would you do that back there? Like,
Ew.
It's filthy. It's so dusty and stuff. Like, why would you do that?
It's filthy back there.
Filthy, like,
yeah.
Nobody dusts in the storeroom. Come on.
No.
It's like filthy. And they both kept their jobs barely. I mean, I thought for sure they were both going to be out of there. And I don't know how, but they kept their jobs for a little while longer. And then a layoff happened, and one of the two of them was let go. So, yeah.
Dude.
I mean, Robin and I don't know if Robin's here. Robin and I, like, all the unfortunate stories about people and relations, just all the unfortunate.
Can we just talk about that? Like, literally, today is Halloween. Excited about the snacks. If you remember what we said, if you were going to have to do a riff at your organization, now is the time that you would have had to do this. And now we're going into season, like personnel season.
Yes.
And
oh my gosh, we got some stories. Yes.
We'll have more stories. And just remember to support each other.
It's the worst time of the year. Holiday party is the worst. The worst. the worst.
It is the worst. And make sure that you are connecting and networking and partnering with each other, because this is the time. This is the high time. We just finished open enrollment, right? Everybody got that done. Now we're going into in season, and this is when stuff gets a little dicey.
And so when you make bad choices, Heather, can you share Heather's? I love her story. Management hooked up in the basement once. First of all, the basement of the store. Love it. And it went all over the store. No one was fired. They both divorced at that point, their current spouses and married each other. Cannot tell you, I say this all the time, how many weddings I've been invited to of coworkers.
Listen, and I'll just tell you the advice from my mom. If they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you. That's what my mom always used to say.
Oh my gosh. I love your mom.
I know. God, look at what Eric. Don't hook up on the ping pong table in the common room during the holiday party. HR might need to use the footage from personal experience, Eric.
And Eric, you are not wrong. And I'm going to add, I won't get into all the details. I've had unemployment when unemployment was filed, ask for a copy of the video, and we had to send it.
But look at Dr. B. I like Dr. B putting the
don't talk, just listen,
Jodeci, because that our producer said Eric owes
somebody. Yes. Poor Eric. What I mean to say is
that's why I was in South Florida and I missed that. It's so common. There's a very distinctive Cuban American accent. When people are having a conversation, it's very common. And I kept saying it when I get like, pero, that's what I say when I see the that's what it makes me think of. Pero, and I miss it. I miss the sights and smells. I've been traveling so much. That's why I'm like, I don't even know. Like, how are you dealing with that, Mr. Baldino?
Well, first of all, I keep my eye on the prize. That helps. Somebody asked me how Kathy felt about it. And I said, it's interesting. Kath and I we enjoy each other a lot, which is nice. But we're very independent at the same time. And so we're not like joined at the hip. Like, right. Oh, what am I going to do without you for 2 days? Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Like, we're just not those people. And so I think that has enabled me to have a bit of freedom about the travel. And so I don't feel that stress. I know some other people do, and that's just a layer of stress. But I don't sleep well. Honestly, part of the trick for me is I don't sleep well. And so when I travel, and because I know sometimes people will be like, gosh, it's hard for me because my time is off. I have jet lag, all that kind of stuff. I don't sleep well at home. So it feels normal to me, which is an unfortunate normal. So I don't struggle. I would say to you, though, you said this at the onset this morning. I don't love the late nights anymore. Like, Robin and I, if we're at a conference together, and it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, we're at a party or whatever, and we're doing like the take a step back.
Right.
Take a step back. Right. Until you're out of the room, like right. It's just a slow reverse. And then all of a sudden we're at the elevator, up,
Listen,
up, like trying.
That's the event that we had. So Cheryl, I got to show you the shirt because you'll.
Yes. Oh, you mentioned it. Yeah. I want to see it.
But
hey, y'all, while she's doing that, if you have scary HR and talent acquisition stories, please continue to pop those in the chat. Everybody's going to be reading these after the fact as well. Where's the shirt?
So I'll show you the shirt. Can you see?
Come. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Right. On the bottom, it says Talent Connect Summit, October 29th, Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, man.
And on the back,
where possibility works. I'm just saying,
how funny it is?
LinkedIn.
Yes.
I'm available. LinkedIn, if you'd like to invite me as well. I know I'm influencer 101, but I'm still an influencer.
No, but here's the thing. Like, I think we forget because we're on it, and it just feels really funny. Like, hi, we have a show on your platform, and they're like, "What?
Yeah. Yeah.
You?
First of all,
Are you an
it's
influencer?" And I'm
we
like,
like
I said, literally, somebody asked me that from like the influence team. They go, "Are you an influencer?" I was like, "No, we're just two Gen X kids in love."
I mean, what does that mean? Right? Are you an
I don't
influencer? I
know.
guess I'm here. What I don't how do
I
you want
don't
me to
know.
answer that?
I don't know. But
I
I don't hold anybody against it. It's a huge, they're a Microsoft company. And we think we need to remember that was the thing that was
we
interesting
do. We
with
enjoy
all
you,
of that.
LinkedIn. We enjoy you. Please don't shut us off.
Yeah, we love you. We love you. Like,
Do one of those things because my computer is apparently no good. Thank you.
this is for you, LinkedIn. This is for you.
Oh, I can't believe I know we only have a few minutes. I got to make sure before we say any other stories. Clay, last week, loved it.
Did you? It was great.
Loved it.
I was like
Uncle
in
John was
awe.
so proud. Uncle John was super proud.
They did so great. They're so smart. I was like,
Very, very smart.
this is
Shocking,
what,
right?
like,
How
what
are
it
our
was.
offspring so smart? How did this happen?
I don't
'Cause
know because I mean, I just remember don't flush paper towels in the toilet.
Frankie, leave your sister alone. That was like my entire.
You know, I always when they were little, it was so funny when Clay would say, "I hate TJ because da, da, da." And I was like, "We had him for you. He was a gift. Treat him nicely.
And
We
first of
didn't
all,
want you to
that's
be
an
alone.
absolute lie.
We
No one can
we
hate
had
that
him
child.
because we didn't want you to be alone, Clay. So you should be nice
TJ,
to your sweet baby TJ."
sweet baby TJ, not a person can have any animosity towards that young man. Not
Absolutely.
a person. I will not allow it.
Oh, all this to say, we got Ray off the rails. The reason I brought it up is because what you were talking about. The concert was from 7:30 to 10:30, and we're like, and it was outside.
Cheryl,
Right.
first of all, Cheryl, I know you want to be done at 9.
Right.
Come on.
So we get there with all the buses, right? And they say, Cheryl Crow will be performing in 45 minutes.
Cheryl, you better get out here now and end it 45
I
minutes
was
earlier.
like, I just want to go back there and just say, hum a few bars. I'm good. If you could just
That's fine.
hum a few
You
bars.
don't need to. Don't worry about the, just put on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. Come on.
I love that Leaving Las Vegas song. If you could just sing that real quick.
Give me a bouncy C.
Give me a C. A bouncy C. Yeah. But so cute. I mean, it was good. I'm glad I was there. And, I'm all in. I just realized, in the club, we all family. That's all.
Listen, it's not the last one that I went to at a conference, I think. Oh, well, I saw Kelly Clarkson in the summer. And then,
You saw Janet Jackson.
I saw Janet Jackson. That was last year, but that's all right. That counts for like decades. I was like weepy. Kai, if you're still here, she knows. I was like falling apart because I always wanted to see her in concert.
Kai's here. I didn't see him.
We got to see Flava Flav, and who the heck was he with?
Or Nikki's here.
I know Nikki is.
And I didn't see him.
I don't know if you're traveling, Nikki, but I'm with you. Like when you're on the West Coast for a long period of time, that could catch up with you for sure. Listen, y'all, happy Halloween. This is the fastest hour in show business. I don't understand how it's so quick. Please buy the Don't Smell the Mail. We're trying to keep Sweet Baby TJ in college.
I just want to buy it because I want to see that picture. Look.
It's going to tell me somebody scanned the QR code.
It was me.
But anyway, the day today is yours. Please keep adding what is that picture?
Hold on. It just moved. Hold on.
Who is that?
This is the picture that's on the Don't Smell the Mail sweatshirt.
Who is that person?
It is AI. AI
is the worst. AI is the worst. Get used to it, everybody.
Look, you're gonna get me broke. I can't buy our own swag.
Yes, buy it. Right.
I love it.
You might as well buy it, and because this money goes towards Sweet Baby TJ, so buy that. Oh my gosh, that person, so unfortunate. AI, what are you doing? Look, y'all, nothing but love. Happy
Nothing but
Halloween.
love.
Lots
We'll
of
see you
treats.
next week.
See you next week.